I'm Michelle Carroll, and welcome to Lex Cura Clinical Insights. Nursing home abuse cases are among the most important and most challenging cases in elder law litigation. The evidence is rarely contained in a single note or an explicit admission. More often it is found in the details: unexplained bruising, unusual injury patterns, delayed reporting, changing accounts of what occurred, and inconsistencies between the nursing narrative and the resident's physical findings. These are clinical signals that a trained eye can recognize and connect. In this episode, I'll walk you through how to examine nursing documentation for possible evidence of abuse, how mandatory reporting obligations affect the analysis, and how to use the clinical record to establish a reliable evidentiary foundation for the case. Did you know that nearly 1 in 10 older adults experience some form of abuse each year? And here's the kicker: most of the evidence is hidden in plain sight, buried in nursing home records.
That's a staggering statistic. It's hard to imagine how something so serious could go unnoticed. But I guess that's why we're talking about this today. Those records can tell a story if you know how to read them.
Exactly. Today, we're peeling back the layers on nursing home records, what they reveal, what they hide, and how families can use them to advocate for their loved ones. It's a tough topic, but one that's so important.
So, let's start with the basics. When we say nursing home records, what exactly are we talking about? What kinds of documents are included?
Well, nursing home records cover a lot of ground. You've got care plans, which outline a resident's specific needs and how the staff is supposed to meet them. Then, there are medical charts that track things like medications, treatments, and vital signs. You've also got daily progress notes, incident reports, and even logs for meals and activities. Each of these documents is a piece of the puzzle.
And these records are supposed to be detailed, right? They're essentially the blueprint for how care is provided.
That's the idea. They're meant to be a thorough, accurate account of a resident's health and the care they're receiving. But here's the thing: when those records are incomplete, inconsistent, or vague, it can be a sign that something's not right.
So, let's talk about those signs. What are some of the red flags people should look for in nursing home records?
One of the biggest red flags is unexplained injuries. If a resident has frequent bruises, fractures, or falls, and there's no clear explanation in the records, that's a major concern. Even more so if there's a pattern, like similar injuries happening repeatedly.
Right. It's one thing for an elderly person to have an occasional fall, but if it keeps happening and no one's addressing the root cause, that's a problem.
Exactly. Another red flag is gaps in documentation. For example, if medication logs are incomplete or there are missing entries in the care plan, it could mean that care wasn't provided as it should have been, or worse, that something inappropriate happened and the staff is trying to cover it up.
That's a chilling thought. And what about changes in a resident's behavior? Can those show up in the records as well?
Absolutely. If a resident suddenly becomes withdrawn, agitated, or fearful, those changes should be documented. But if the records note these changes without any follow-up or explanation, that's a red flag. It could be a sign of emotional or physical abuse, or even neglect.
It's heartbreaking to think about someone suffering in silence, especially in a place that's supposed to protect and care for them.
It really is. And another thing to watch for is the language used in the records. Sometimes the way staff describe a resident can reveal a lot. For example, if you see terms like non-compliant or combative used frequently, it might indicate that the resident's needs aren't being met, or that they're being unfairly blamed for their own distress.
That's such an important point. Words matter, especially in a setting like this. The way someone is described can shape how they're treated or mistreated.
Exactly. And it's not just the words themselves, but also the tone of the notes. If the language seems dismissive or judgmental, that's a red flag. It could mean that the staff isn't taking the residents' concerns seriously, or that they're trying to justify substandard care.
So, let's shift gears a bit. For families who have a loved one in a nursing home, what can they do to spot these red flags? How can they advocate for their loved one?
Great question. The first step is to request access to the records. Under federal law, nursing homes are required to provide records to residents and their families upon request. Once you have the records, take the time to review them carefully. Look for patterns. Are there frequent injuries? Are there gaps in documentation? Are there unexplained changes in behavior?
And if something doesn't add up, don't be afraid to ask questions. Talk to the staff, the administrators, even the resident's doctor. Sometimes, just letting them know that you're paying attention can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And if you suspect abuse or neglect, don't hesitate to report it. Every state has an agency that investigates complaints against nursing homes. You can also contact an ombudsman who acts as an advocate for nursing home residents.
It's so important to speak up. Silence only enables the problem to continue.
Exactly. And I think it's worth mentioning that not all nursing homes are bad. Many provide excellent care and have dedicated staff who genuinely care about their residents. But for the ones that fall short, it's up to all of us to hold them accountable.
Couldn't agree more. So before we wrap up, let's summarize the key takeaways. First, nursing home records can reveal a lot about the quality of care being provided or not provided.
Second, red flags to watch for include unexplained injuries, gaps in documentation, changes in behavior, and dismissive or judgmental language in the records.
Third, families have the right to access these records and should review them carefully for any signs of abuse or neglect.
And finally, if you suspect something is wrong, don't be afraid to ask questions, speak up, and report your concerns. Your voice can make a difference.
Well said. This has been such an important conversation. Thanks for diving into this with me.
Thank you. And thanks to our listeners for joining us. Let's keep looking out for one another, especially for those who can't always advocate for themselves.
Absolutely. Until next time, take care.
Nursing home abuse cases require us to look beyond the explanation offered in a single note. A bruise may initially appear isolated. An unwitnessed injury may be attributed to a fall. A delay in reporting may be described as an oversight. But when those findings are placed alongside the resident's baseline condition, injury pattern, reporting timeline, witness accounts, and subsequent changes in documentation, a very different picture may emerge. The clinical record helps us determine what was observed, when it was recognized, how staff responded, whether required reporting occurred, and whether the explanation is consistent with the physical evidence. That careful reconstruction can transform a collection of concerning details into a coherent and supportable case. Thank you for joining me for this episode of LexCura Clinical Insights. I'm Michelle Carroll, founder and chief clinical strategist of LexCura Summit. To learn more, visit lexcurasummit.com. LexCura Summit, clinical intelligence for better litigation decisions.